My name's Eliza May, and I've lived in these hollows longer than the oaks have stood tall. My bones ache with the weight of years, and my eyes have seen things that curdle fresh milk. But tonight, I'm gonna tell you a tale that's been buried deep in my soul, one I promised myself I'd take to the grave. But promises break like brittle twigs, don't they? Especially when the shadows creep in. All started way back, before the mills shut down and the rivers ran dry. This beast I'm speakin' of ain't no wolf or bear from the woods. No, sir. He was a man once, or so they say, but the devil got hold of him early on. Folks called him Harlan Crowe, though that name's like poison on the tongue now. Born in the backwoods of Kentucky, where the coal mines swallow men whole and spit out their ghosts. His ma died birthin' him, and his pa was a mean drunk who beat the fear of God right out of the boy. Or maybe into him. Hard to say which way the rot sets in. Harlan grew up wild, runnin' with the feral dogs that scavenged the dumps. By the time he was 12, he'd killed his first creature, a stray cat, they said, just to watch the light fade from its eyes. But that was just the beginnin'. The atrocities. Oh, Lord, the atrocities he committed on people. It makes my old heart stutter just thinkin' on it. But I gotta tell it true, 'cause stories like this don't die easy. They fester. Let me take you back to the summer of '42. World War II was ragin' overseas, but in our little town of Blackridge, the war was something we read about in the papers. Folks were more worried about the drought dryin' up the crops. That's when Harlan showed up, tall as a cornstalk, with eyes black as coal dust. He hired on at the sawmill, swingin' an axe like he was born to it. Quiet type, kept to himself. But there was something off about him, like a storm cloud hangin' low. First victim was little Tommy Jenkins, the mill owner's son. Tommy was only 8, playful as a pup. Went missin' one evenin' after playin' by the river. We searched for days, hollerin' his name till our throats were raw, found him, or what was left of him, tied to a tree, his skin peeled back like bark from a log. The beast had carved symbols into his flesh, ancient-looking things no one recognized. Sheriff called it an accident, said maybe a bear. But we knew better. Bears don't tie knots. That was the start. Harlan moved on, but the killin's didn't stop. He drifted north to Ohio, workin' the steel mills. There, he took to lurkin' in the alleys after dark. Women started vanishin', poor souls like Mary Lou, a waitress at the diner. She was found in a dumpster, her eyes gouged out, tongue cut clean. They said she'd been alive for most of it. The pain, I can't even fathom. Harlan left notes sometimes, scrawled in blood. The beast hungers. Years passed, and the tailies spread like wildfire. By the 50s, he'd hit the big cities. Chicago was his playground. That's where the atrocities got worse, if you can believe it. He targeted families, breaking in at night. The Millers, God rest 'em, a mom, dad, and 2 kids. Harlan slaughtered 'em slow. Started with the father mackin' him watch as he. Well, I won't say it all, but the children suffered things no child should. Bodies arranged in a circle, like some pagan ritual. Police were baffled. No fingerprints, no clues. But whispers followed. The beast with the coal-black eyes. I met him once, you know, in '57, down in Tennessee. I was young then, working as a nurse in Memphis. He came into the hospital with a busted arm from a fall. Those eyes locked on mine, and I felt a chill like winter's breath. Didn't know it was him then, but later, when the news hit about the nurse who went missing that same night. Sarah, her name was. Found her in the Mississippi, weighted down with stones, but not before he'd had his fun. Carved up like a Thanksgiving turkey. The beast kept moving, always one step ahead. In the 60s, he hit California, ridden the wave of free love and chaos. But his love was twisted. Hippie communes were his hunting grounds. Whole groups vanished. One camp in the redwoods, 20 souls, all gone. Bodies hung from trees, swaying like morbid ornaments. Entrails used to spell words, feed the hunger. Papers called it the Redwood Massacre. Feds got involved, but Harlan was a ghost. Decades rolled on. The 70s brought disco and drugs, but for Harlan, it was a buffet of lost souls. New York City, the subways. He'd drag folks into the tunnels where screams echoed forever. Men, women, didn't matter. He'd experiment, see how long they could last without skin, without limbs. One poor fella, a banker named Ellis, was found alive, but wishing he wasn't. Harlan had removed his eyelids, forced him to watch his own torment. The beast sees all, he whispered before leaving him. By the 80s, technology was catching up. Cameras, DNA. But Harlan adapted. He went underground, literally. Sewers in Boston became his lair. Kids playing hooky would disappear. Little ones like Billy O'Shea, 10 years old. Found with his heart cut out, still beaten, they said, though that might be legend. The atrocities piled up, burn-ins, drown-ins, things involving acid and fire. He left survivors sometimes, maimed and broken, to spread the fear. I followed the stories, clip-in newspapers, connecting dots no one else saw. Why? 'Cause that glance in Memphis haunted me. I knew he was more than man, maybe demon-possessed, or just pure evil incarnate. In the 90s, he hit the South again, New Orleans during Mardi Gras. Revelers masked, perfect cover. He took to collecting masks from faces, peeled 'em off, wore 'em like trophies. A parade of horrors, bodies left in alleys, faceless and forgotten. Millennium turned, and the beast didn't slow. Internet age, he used it. Lured victims online, catfishing with promises of love or money. In Seattle, a tech whiz kid named Dana. Met her for a date, ended in a warehouse. He vivisected her, cutting, while she screamed, learning anatomy the hard way. Posted photos anonymously, fueling urban legends. 2000s saw him global. Traveled to Europe, they say. London fog hid his deeds. Tourists vanishing, found in the Thames, organs missing. Black market, perhaps, or just for fun. Back stateside, Vegas. Gamblers lossing more than money. High rollers in suites, woken to knives and pain. One tycoon, Harlan made him eat his own fingers before slitting his throat. 2010s, social media. He adapted again. Fake profiles stalking. Teens were easy prey. Snapchat vanishings. A girl in Texas, Emily, 16, lured to a field, raped and ravaged. Left with scars that spelled beast. Survivors started a network, sharing stories. I joined anonymously, piecing more together. Now, in the 2020s, He's still out there. Pandemic masked faces, perfect for him. Remote towns where lockdowns hid screams. A family in Montana, isolated. He broke in, tormented 'em for days. Starved 'em, then fed 'em parts of each other. Cannibalism forced. Only the youngest survived, mute from trauma. But why, you ask? What drives the beast? Some say it's the devil. Others, a curse from his birth. Me, I think it's the emptiness inside, a void that swallows light. He commits these atrocities 'cause he can, 'cause the pain of others fills that hole, if only for a moment. And now, children, the fire's dying low, and the night's grown deep. But remember, the beast walks among us. Lock your doors, say your prayers, 'cause if those coal-black eyes find you, well, God help you.